Get all of your spooky figures at Big Bad Toy Store, the link in the description. Blah. This is different than the first time I recorded it. See, it's new.
Horror, kaiju, Dragon Ball, and more. Steven's Toy Reviews.
Hey, Collector Steven here, and welcome to another Universal Monsters horror figure review, where today we're going to be taking a look, not at Dracula, but at the accessories set. So, NECA went ahead and they did the colored version of Dracula, the Transylvania. Then they did the Carfax Abbey version, which that is now hitting retailers, but what is also hitting is going to be the Dracula accessory set. And a lot of folks are kind of on the fence with this one. Why is that? Well, we get a nice big old coffin, we get 4 familiars, and a backdrop for the price of $42. Did I sell you on it? No? Well, that's what reviews are for. So let's take a look to see whether or not it's going to be worth adding into your collection. Let's go ahead and get the backdrop out of the way because, well, you're either going to like it or you're not. It is twofold, kind of opens and closes, 3-panel. Trifold? I don't know. Drop in the comments. Please correct me. Feel free to do so. And cool. You can see the designs on it. Pretty nice. For the backdrops, honestly, I'm kind of take it or leave it myself. They don't really sway me one way or another. You're not going to woo me with your wares, if you will. If you are into these, I suppose you could get, better ones yourself. You can make them, but hey, if you do like them, it is included here. You can see this definitely reminds someone of a dungeon. But considering that this is more so meant to be for the color Transylvania version of Dracula, I'm not sure why it has the black and white feel to it. Now let's go ahead and move on over to the little critters that come in the Dracula accessory set. Let's first and foremost get the spider out of the way, which does vary a little bit from the promo pictures that we did get of the accessory set. So in the accessory set, it definitely did look to be significantly brighter red, especially when we have the overarching promo shot of all of the different critters in the set. Is there a particular type of spider that is this? I don't know. I don't know what species this is supposed to be aside from goofy Halloween prop spider, but nevertheless, it looks solid, looks creepy, looks like it would, belong in a old-timey horror film. Next, the armadillo. So talk about oddball, but interestingly, makes sense. Why is that? Way back in the day, America, 30s, 40s, hell, even the 20s, armadillo. You didn't really see a whole lot of those. So you'd throw one of these in the movies. Why? Because you have Americans. Ooh, what is that? It's a novel creature. Novel, new, spooky, scary. So that's why you have an armadillo. What about the paint apps? Well, I'm just going to drag out this time frame a little bit longer so we can switch on over to the opossum as well, where I can double down on the comments for the opossum here. Ooh, little trash can friend. So the paint apps on both of these are rather heavy-handed. I would say that the brushing on them really does bring out the details a bit, but I will say that it seems like maybe the paint was just a little bit too well applied, particularly on these units here. Especially for the opossum, it definitely seems like the paint is really, really bright. It feels very, very striking, very heavy in contrast. Detail-wise, I think is good. I do think that the opossum, however, is in a very calm state, not, striking, shrieking, or anything like we would see in the actual movie itself, but nevertheless, our little trash can hero here is looking very good. Now, for the bee. Or is it a bee? No, it's a Jerusalem cricket, which is actually pretty neat. But nevertheless, a fun fact. It is commonly held to the belief that this is not meant to be something small and something that was meant to be like, hold in your hand size. The idea, back when this was included, because back then, you didn't hold things up to the scrutiny that you would today, that this would actually be seen as something small. The idea is that you have all these critters running around in a graveyard and that you have all of these spooky things coming out of coffins and caskets and so forth, that this was meant to be like a giant bug coming out of its tomb or something. Issue here with this particular one. It's small, okay? So take the issue for whatever it may be worth, okay? So the parts for the cricket that would be raised up. You can kind of see what I'm talking about here once I point it out. They didn't paint everything as it was raised up off of the casket for the cricket. So you could basically see where the abdomen would be for it all the way down, and you can see that's gray. And they didn't do anything with that. Like, they didn't try to blend that in. They didn't try to sculpt the cricket on top of the casket, on top of its coffin. It sort of looks like almost as if it was 3D printed, if that makes any sense. But overall, considering the size, I don't think it's that big of an issue. Let's go ahead and switch into some action shots with all of the critters here, because next we're going to go ahead and take a look at probably the big draw of the set, the coffin, the casket. And oh boy, kind of mixed here. Sort of not really. So, interestingly, it's stamped 2021. And here we get it at the beginning of 2023. Yep. Pretty neat. Wonder why. Anyway, so it is going to be gray. It has specks of other paint all throughout. We even have some heavy-handed brushing all throughout, and even some little heavy spray marks that are found on the lid, which that is actually found on the promo pictures if you are looking up close and personal. So it's not an issue that I'm pointing out. I'm just pointing out that it is there. The handles on the sides of the coffin, those are on hinges, and they do swing out and they do swing back down. So that's a nice, neat little touch. I will say that the lid has no sort of friction for the hinge. So it will either open or it will close. You're going to need to prop it up. It would have been cool if this was ratcheted, so this way we could sort of have it propped open a little bit. But nevertheless, that is not going to be the case. Let's go ahead and move on over to a size comparison. So this way you can see just how big, in brief, all of the little critters, along with the coffin, will be with another NECA horror figure and maybe the other vampire figure that's out there on the market. Buy now, skip, or wait for a deal. All right, so this is very, very difficult. $42, do you get a nice, solid concrete package? No. I hate to say it, no. I think what we get here is really cool. And I don't know. We get some new stuff with the Carfax Abbey Dracula. We get the top hat, we get the cane, we get the necklace, and we get some alternate hand parts to this way. The gloved hand parts, to be more so exact. And considering that this is more so meant to be for the colored Transylvania Dracula, they could have put those in this set for the Transylvania Dracula. But they didn't. And it's very difficult for me to say that effectively for what is promoted as the coffin and the 4 animals equates to $42, because that's going to be worth more than Dracula. So these 5 essentially static items are going to be worth just a hair more than a full-fledged jointed action figure with an actor likeness. I don't know. It's hard to say. And there are others who hold the same sentiment as well that I've been seeing in different Facebook groups and even on different social media platforms. I'm not saying that this set is bad in any way, shape, or form, but for $42, that's definitely quite a bit of money. I don't know. It's not bad. It's just certainly not $42 worth.
Well, collectors, that brings us to the end of the video today, and I just wanted to take a second to thank you so much for watching. Now, you've heard a lot from me. I'd like to hear a little bit from you. Drop in the comments down below whether or not you liked it, you hated it, or maybe you were somewhere in between. I also want to take an extra second here for a nice, humongous thank you to all the patrons for SDR over the last month who have really helped the channel grow into what it can be today. So to all of you, 2 big thumbs up. Thank you very much. And now the end card should be popping up, which will give you a few clickable links, like maybe to subscribe or head on over to my Patreon, or some short URLs like to my social media or to my Teespring store. There's also a video I hand selected for you, so if you want to watch another STR video, I hand selected some good content for you to watch, so definitely check out that video. Thank you again so much for watching, and I'll catch ya in the next video.